Welcome back to CBN Radio. I am your host, Rhayne Coleman, and I'm so happy that you've chosen to join me once again. Make sure you follow me over there on Twitter at CarefreeBlackNerd and over on TikTok, CarefreeBlackNerd. Let's get these talks to ticking. Now, when you're listening to this broadcast, please use the hashtag CBN Radio. Any question that may come up over the course of this broadcast, please be sure to answer that question in the CBN Radio hashtag. Give me your thoughts, give me your request, and let me know how you feel about this craziness going on today. So we're going to jump right in. Morbius, the Morbius movie that has been delayed more times than that Channing Tatum Gambit project. So the Morbius movie finally has an official release date, April 1st, 2022. Now, how fitting of a date is that, April 1st? Now, one thing I do hope is that this movie does well. And it's not because I'm some big Sony fan, diehard, live by comic book movies, but with all of the releases, all the release dates, and with it being pushed back so many times, it that already puts this kind of target on your back. Same thing happened with New Mutants. All of those rewrites and altering, well, that was the least of New Mutants issues, but when a movie gets pushed back so many times and so many changes are made, the public doesn't really have a good taste in their mouth when it comes to that movie. I'll say that. But with this one, I enjoyed the trailer. I am not a Morbius stan. I was familiar with him from the animated Spider-Man animated series back in the 90s, and I've even read a comic book or two with him in the story. I've never like sought out Morbius content. So I'm not sure if this is going to be great, but I do hope that it's a pretty decent movie. And man, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Like, are you interested in this Morbius film? Do you think that the April 1st release date might be its downfall? I don't know if you're superstitious or if this is a kind of a warning, but I'm excited for it. Honestly, I am. I do want to see this one in theaters, and again, not because I'm just such a diehard stan, but I think that with Disney and Marvel essentially owning everything, as much as we nerds want this comic book accuracy and we want everything to get back to Marvel so that they can do it right and this, that, and the third, I do miss and I do like the idea that these characters are being owned by different studios because I don't want to see just one particular interpretation of what this could be. That being said, let's let me know how you feel about the Morbius film, or do you want to see it? Are you against it? And for those of you who aren't familiar, who don't know anything about a Morbius, this movie is about a biochemist, Michael Morbius. He tries to cure himself of a rare blood disease, but when his experiment goes wrong, he inadvertently infects himself with a form of vampirism instead. Another reason I'm excited for this is that we get this vampire adjacent pseudo vampire character in a comic book universe. And I'm a Twilight stan. I don't care. I'm shouted from the rooftops. I am a fan. But I do like, of course, we have Blade coming, but we've gotten Blade before, grandfather of this whole cinematic universe stuff. But I like this idea that we're getting another vampire character who is not necessarily your traditional vampire who doesn't have the trappings of the YA vampireness that is Twilight, and who isn't a one for one analog of Blade. He is this reimagined version of what a vampire is, but with enough room to give us what a vampire could be. So, I don't know. Let me know. What do you think about Morbius?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I saw. It's conscious. Well, doing 90 on the jet skis. Yeah, we living. Tell these haters come and get me. Lil' mama, you look sexy. And she bad. I wanna fuck, she gon' let me. See. I ain't pussy, don't test me. Ice heart, Wayne Gretzky. Knew what it was when you met me. Yeah, you know that. Just be real, don't upset me. Yo, I ain't got time for the foolery. None of these niggas ain't cool as me. None of these women ain't fooling me. I don't even need the right jewelry. Ain't shit these people could do to me. I done seen it all, it ain't new to me. People be hating, that's jealousy. Only trust people that's cool with me. I ain't rich yet, but I'm soon to be. She wanna listen to Jodeci. Sippin' on some Henny, then we roll some weed. Give her that D, then I go to sleep. Only need money and loyalty. And my respect and my royalties. The more you get older is the more you see. Yeah, this shit ain't really what it's all to be. Yeah, shit ain't really what it's all to be. It be all talk, yeah, you know it's cheap. Following the herd, yeah, they all some sheep. All my bills crispy like my money neat. Keep a blue face, but I'm on the beat. Out of this world like a Kanye tweet. Curvy little mommy, and she's so petite. She a chef's kiss, then she's so complete. And I'm the best gift, so I'm rapping. Anything I do, they gon' back it. Even with my back against the basket. Stone Island, a jacket. Double I, yeah, they jacket. If I say it once, then that's it. But we went and doubled up. Nah, that's just water in my double cup. Doing 90 on the jet ski, tell them buckle up. Anybody wanna test me, we could knuckle up. Cause we got some real hooders, know a couple. And I done had enough problems, less drama. Stay silent, more commas. Yeah, I'm really tryna get mine. Cause I done seen a lot of trouble, lot of hustle, few struggle. Some love you, other people really be lying. And I ain't playing no games, no pain, no games, no lames. Tell them they gon' all fall in line. Now we on the next plane, next train, next lane, next game. KD letting threes fly. Hey, hey.
Okay, so speaking of Sony, with Sony on our mind and the Spider-Man characters, a few weeks ago, Dakota Johnson was announced as the Madam Web live-action actress. Now, Madam Web does have a power set kind of similar to Doctor Strange. What is exciting is that we're getting these spider characters, and we're getting like Madam Web. Like, I ain't gonna hold you, Madam Web. When I was a kid, I was like stoked to see this woman in the animated series. This older woman, visibly older, not that, I'm 30 and I'm playing a 60-year-old woman type, like an older woman. I think she was handicapped because she was confined to that chair, or I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. But she was also blind. Wait, do I even love this character? Like I say, I'm getting these mixed memories. Either way, long story short, I'm excited that we're getting her in live action. Um, the good, well, interesting thing is, especially if this Morbius movie does well, is that Sazma, I think I'm saying that right, and Burke Sharpless are the writers of this Madam Web project. They are also the writers of Morbius. Um, so if Morbius is a hit, which I'm hoping it is, and people enjoy it and that it's received well, to have the same creative team also working on Madam Web is going to be like a no-brainer. And the interesting thing is that with Sony having Morbius, let's just say it does well. We don't know yet, but let's just say it does well. And Madam Web, we're going to assume that it's going to do well as well. And you also have Carnage and Venom, and I believe we're getting a Black Cat project. I'm not entirely certain, and that's There was another project that started a few years ago, but I don't think it completed. Was it Silver Sable? I believe so. But what I'm getting at is that it's going to be interesting to see Sony's own version of a Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man being front and center. Let me know what you guys think about that. Like, do you think that a Spider-Man universe of Spider-Man characters can make it on its own without having Spider-Man in there? I'll give you my take. I actually would like to see that. I know it's kind of odd. You're like, oh, well, Spider-Man is the main character. You know, he's a good guy, blah, blah, whatever. But I honestly like the idea of, how do I put this? It's like Marvel with their D and C list characters. We got Iron Man, which exploded into this gigantic multiverse that we have today. I think that if we get, even though they're playing with somewhat popular characters, if we get a Spider-Man Rogues Gallery anti-hero adjacent character universe without Spider-Man, that's going to make for a more interesting and creative way to tell a story because you don't have the main hero foiling all the bad guys. And it gives you a chance to look at these villains and essentially create your own cinematic universe with the bad guys, quote unquote bad guys, but giving the audience their point of view. And I'm not saying that everyone who is a villain needs to be so sympathetic, but I do like the idea that it's giving room for us to explore the villains in a way that the MCU has given us to explore the heroes. Um, I don't know, I always like that idea. Or that concept of like giving history and backstory to the villain, not in a way to necessarily redeem them in the eyes of the audience, but to give a full story of what's actually going on. So I, for one, am not opposed to it. And I think that Spider-Man has enough of a rogues gallery and enough characters where you could pull it off. You could go for a few years and even do a lot of the storylines, but just alter them a bit. And it could be like this whole reimagined, which is what you would want, honestly. I am a comic nerd who likes to see comic book accuracy, but I'm also a comic book nerd who appreciates that the cinematic universe of these properties is in and of itself its own universe. So yes, of course, I would love to have Black Panther and Aurora Monroe Storm on screen together. I would love to have everything exactly how it is in the comics, but is that fun though? Like there's some things you just want to see. Like I know they've done it to death, but I would love to have seen the Phoenix Saga, the Dark Phoenix Saga done well. That's not something I desire anymore, but there was a time where if that was done well on screen, ooh, you killed it. So yeah, I'm really interested to see what does this Sony universe look like. And is this Sony universe just a corner of the MCU universe where we're playing with these characters right on the fringes of MCU so that if these characters are ever needed, we can pull them in? And then to go take it a step further with Loki and with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and the idea of variants, do we then get the Jared Leto Morbius for the Sony Morbius films? But if we need a Morbius in an MCU film, we don't necessarily have to use Jared Leto, which sucks for him because you know that's not a check. It's a check you're not getting, but it's also like yeah, comic book movies to me are starting to be very convoluted as the comics, and I say that in the best way possible. That's not even a dig at them. I just like this idea that the general public can be just as confused and invested as us nerds are. So yeah, that's that.
This town is quiet when it's late here. This town is quiet when the night is getting close. I'm outside, gonna stay here. I'm outside until you tell me to stop. I'm being so dramatic. I'm always being so dramatic. This town
Okay, so getting into the streaming of it all. Few projects, well, a lot of things have come out, a lot of things have been announced, and a lot of things are on the horizon. But there are three things in particular I do want to touch on, two Marvel and one Amazon. We'll start with the Amazon. So the movie Master came out recently, and it stars Regina Hall. Regina Hall, I love this woman. If I could meet her, shake her hand, give her a hug, have coffee with her, I want to meet this woman. So, Regina, if you're listening, please email me at carefreeblacknerd@gmail.com, or you can call me at 555. Please call. No, but seriously, I love me some Regina Hall. And this movie is a movie that follows two black women, Regina Hall and Zoe. What is Zoe's last name? The young black girl who was the other lead. Zoe Renee is the young actress's name. They tried to find their place at this prestigious New England university that disguises something a bit more sinister. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of spoilers or anything here. There will be a review coming down the pipeline on the Carefree Black Nerd podcast. Please make sure to check that out. I will say Master was an interesting ride. I will also say I was not a fan of the ending. Neither of them, because there weren't two endings. There was kind of sort of like an end of a storyline and then the end of the movie. Just know that I personally feel like this movie should have been three different movies. Even better, this could have been a series. And I say that not with my nerd brain of like extended continuity and wanting to see everything and every inch of the universe. No, this is really a film I think would have been better received had it have been a series. Even like a 6 episode series or like a 4 episode limited series, this honestly would have fared better, in my opinion. Let me know if you've seen Master and what do you think about it. There will be a review coming soon, probably in the next couple weeks, week or so. Give everyone a chance to actually watch it. And let me know, how do you feel about it? Like, is this something that you would recommend to others, or is it just like, I watched it and that's enough? Now, I will say, though it doesn't really sound like I'm giving it too positive of a ratings. I honestly did like it. It was just a lot of stuff going on that I felt like should have been changed. But one thing that did not have to change is Regina's performance. She she killed it, and I love the range. Like that woman has the range. She has the comedy. Like doing this, there's no. I digress because I can rant and rave about Regina all day long, but she killed it in this. I thought she did exceptionally well. The other projects, Disney Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Moon Knight. Now, Miss Marvel's a character who I think when I was first getting back into comics back in 2012 is when she popped up. She popped up. I remember getting her first couple issues, and I think like her first issue was free, and I liked her character. I am not a diehard stan. I loved her in Champions. I thought she was fucking phenomenal. Marvel has switched up her power set for the MCU. Now, I will say this to be completely transparent. I was not a fan. I did not like the initial look of her power set. What I will say is the more I sat with it, the more I got over it. And I got over it because one, I think her power set is too similar to Mr. Fantastic. She has that embiggening power, and he has that elastic body. And though us as comic book character or comic book fans can see the difference and can appreciate the difference, and I guess you say, well, if there's two characters with super strength, how are they both able to exist? But no, I think it's a bit confusing, and that's something that you might want to save for Mr. Fantastic when we do get the Fantastic Four on screen. But additionally, it may be a more expensive special effect. And to give her Kamala Khan more of a Kree, I think it's a Kree power set. Like it's something about the original Mr. Marvel or whatnot. And I mean it's an interesting look, and also you're looking at this as a YA story. I would liken it to that of Naomi from CW. I think this is a good way to go. It's colorful. Yes, it's very different from the comics, but the essence of the character seems to be there for me. Though again, I'm not a stan, a diehard stan. If you are, let me know and let me know if I'm incorrect. But I think that for the audience that's being targeted by this series, that's fine. Additionally, Miss Marvel, however popular she is, I feel like it's okay that this change is made. She's a relatively newer character. And I'm not saying this as like, oh, every character that was created in the last 10, 20 years can just be altered. But like, if there's a time to do it, it's with her. I'm by no means, if you're upset with her, you don't like it. Look, I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm just saying that it seems like out of all the characters, this is the one where that change, I just think it's okay. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. Once I sat with that and I got over the fact that it's very different, I was like, all right, but I can see that they're doing something interesting. And even if you were to go back and read the Kamala Khan stories, I don't think you'd be extremely disappointed that this power set is a little different. I could be wrong, but let me know, guys. Let me know. Use the hashtag CBN Radio. Are you okay with this change in Miss Marvel's power set? Do you not really give a damn either way? Or are you just like, no, I don't like this. Why change it? And their feelings are valid. We talk a lot about the fanboys and fangirls, but I honestly think everyone who has an emotion, it's valid in the sense that it's yours and it's real. That don't make it right, but it's valid. And lastly, Mr. Moon Knight. Man, okay. So Moon Knight is popping up. Now I'm not a stan. I guess I'll say, who the hell do you like? This entire broadcast you have been, I'm not a stan, I'm not a fan. But it's true. And that's what I really like about this episode is that I am being hit with a lot of different properties and characters that I would not have gone out of my way to dive into. And that's forcing me to do so by looking at these characters, looking at their history, and then holding it up against what is presented with us to us. Excuse me. Now with Moon Knight, I've seen him, I've seen his image, I've seen a few panels with him in a few books I've read. He's been in them. I am not 100% familiar with that character. I've done some research, and I am a bit more familiar now than I was shit when they first announced Moon Knight, and even before that. I like the look of it. I like Oscar Isaac. Now that I've done the research and the footwork to get into the history of Moon Knight, I do like his story. And it feels like there's a but there, and it kind of sort of is, but there's not. It's like that's a complete sentence. I like the character. But also, a big fear of mine is Marvel handling characters who have cultural and real world applications, reparations, or whatnot. I don't know. Because the issue with Wanda, I didn't get until later, and that was my ignorance and I guess sort of kind of a privilege, I think, when she's a Romani character. Wanda being played by Elizabeth Olsen is an issue. And it's an issue that I discovered much later into the WandaVision run. And though I do like that show, like there's no way to escape that Marvel has done some shitty things or some culturally insensitive things. And with Moon Knight being a Jewish character and Oscar Isaac not identifying as a Jewish man, that could also be an issue. Now, I'm not Jewish either by faith or by culture, so I don't know the ins and outs, but I do know that that has been a critique or that's been a concern of different, Jewish nerds out there who are like, okay, what, and all I can do is listen. I won't put myself in the conversation to say that, oh, you're wrong, and he's Oscar Isaac is such a great actor. Yeah, he's great, and I like him, but that doesn't mean that he's the best man for the part. As excited as I am for this show, I am also very aware of the way in which companies drop the ball. Now, I'll say this. If it was just like some random person doing some fan fiction and making a Moon Knight series and forgot key elements of him, it would be bad, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. And you could call that person out and let them know, hey, this is a big part of whatever, and going forward. And they could either choose to accept it and change it, or be like, no, I'm gonna do what I want. But Marvel, Disney is a huge machine, So I'm like, oh, I hope they don't get this wrong. But me again, not being of Jewish faith or culture, I don't know what is wrong. And so what I'm hoping is that through enjoying Moonlight, that those people in these communities, we're not even getting into the mental health of it all, that people in those communities can be vocal about if this is not working for them. And I'm definitely going to try to be on the lookout for those conversations. I'm not sure if any of my listeners or mutuals online are Jewish. And if you are, I'm not asking you to just step out. If you're Jewish, reveal yourselves and give me your thoughts. It's not that. But if you do feel comfortable like discussing that with me, please like shoot me a DM or hit me up on the timeline and let me know because I'm just not gonna know. I'm not. Now, if Marvel does such a shitty job that even my clueless ass can point out, that feels very racist, that feels very hurtful, or that feels very terrible. If I could point that out about something that's like culturally specific to Jewish people, then you know they done fucked up. Now, I don't think that Marvel's going to. Well, I would hope that Marvel isn't going to mess this up. But again, there are blind spots, and there have been times that Marvel and other companies have proven that they do not do the work to make things culturally sensitive. And that's not to say, oh, everybody's a sensitive snowflake. No, it's not that. It's that shit. Some shit just is wrong. Some stuff just doesn't make sense. Like that fucking movie about the black girl who I think Amanda's whatever Amanda did that damn movie where she fell in love with the Nazi, and it was like this little like what the hell was that? What the fuck was that? So that being said, if you are a person of Jewish faith or culture and you feel comfortable discussing if something is wrong in the show, let me know. I don't know that I'm going to review Moon Knight, but I'll probably do maybe, a review of a collection of episodes. It is a limited series. It's only 6 episodes, so I know I'll talk about it. Um, but yeah, I just don't want to go on to my, oh, it's so great and they did this, that, and the third, and everyone who's Jewish is like, hold up, motherfucker, this was. But that being said, let me know if you're interested in Moon Knight. Have the trailers interested you? Um, the character, are you a fan of him and you're like, fine, you're happy that he's finally on screen? Or let me know if you're like, man, fuck that noise, I'm not watching that shit. Let me know that too. And yeah, let's see what this Marvelness is up to. I think it's the 30th, so I believe that's just next week that'll be airing. So yeah, man, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on Moon Knight, on Miss Marvel, on the show or the movie Master if you've seen it. And let me know what your thoughts are on Madam Web coming to the MCU via the Sonyverse. And lastly, Morbius. What are your thoughts on Morbius? How is that? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if I'm okay. I don't see the light of day. Looking up to higher ground, thinking that'll be your sweet escape. These days gotta schedule the romance. They say that love is a slow dance. A short bike ride to the crib using no hands. Oh shit, it feel like I'm floating, but I'm falling with both eyes closed when I let the world spin. Testing the water, she got my nerves tense. Back when I ain't even have a purpose, I was so eager to learn some things. Anxiety bring out the worst in me. Society paint me as enemy. My niggas making it by that remedy. I'm more occasional, don't do it regularly. Backs under my eyes, weighing down heavily. Mama been worried, the devil allegedly deep in the plan. Subconsciously wanted it since I was 10. I thought I was sharp on my scroll and my pen think it did. So mama found shit of them legs. She told me that's not who I am. But nowadays I put on for the fam, see you when I can. I'm surrounded by my feelings, I'm stuck on a Ferris wheel. I bet I perish with 140 acres. She want the horse and the carriage, a porcelain portion of garbage. I talk to the mirror, I know that life's not the fairest. I lost my can, I can't pay off the bills with the blessing. I'm sure I relate to the Reddit page. It's feeling like money is everything. Money is everything. It's everything I need. Till I lay my eyes on you. I don't know what this is, yeah, but it feel like it's real, baby. I don't wanna pretend, no. I just wanna come clear, wanna see you again. I wanna see you again. I wanna see you again. Yeah. young nigga used to think this was everything I need, right? Not so fond of change, I'm too caught up in my way of thinking. I get by on me, no, I don't need nobody, yes. I was so naive, somehow I'm still all in on me, yeah. Way too many times I let the ball drop. Now I'm Steph Curry with the wrist flick, so they cold shoulders never defrost. No deal, but I pre-floss with the money tree in a deep pot. So I'm corner lanes with the rundown. Bitch, I'm all in the field with the cleats off. Everything that I wanted to reach, I had the tunnel vision, couldn't see far. Negative vibes that I feed off got me up and down like a seesaw. All these decoys hit the destroy. Usually keep it poised, but it's ultra violent with the power moves when I deploy. For the real ones, I wanna feel something. Looking for a sign that I might be worth your time. Yeah. When I look into your eyes, it make me feel alive. I don't know what this is, yeah, but I feel like it's real, baby. I don't wanna pretend, no. I just wanna come clear, wanna see you again.
Yeah, this has been a pretty good broadcast. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, man. So lastly, just so that we can kick off the little themes of it all, with April being the next broadcast and April Fool's Day being the holiday of April, let me know. Somebody let me know. Use the hashtag CBN Radio. And if you want to send in a voice note, let me know what character, I want to say comic book, but I'll open it up to characters in general. What character is the most foolish of them all and why? Who is your, this motherfucker is foolish? Let me know. Use that hashtag CBN Radio to answer that question and I'll read the responses on April's broadcast. And if you would like to get your voice heard on the show, send me a voice note to CarefreeBlackNerd@gmail.com. Use the subject CBN Radio April. CBN Radio, yeah, that'll work. CBN Radio April. Yeah, let me know what character is the most foolish to you and why. It doesn't have to be long. It could be Spider-Man's most foolish because he always telling jokes, just something. But that'll be the theme for April's broadcast. So, yeah, man, I want to give a quick shout out to like all these amazing people, man. Shout out to number one, Cole Jackson, one of the hardest working men in podcasting. My God, this man be doing the work. Cole and I have a Bel Air podcast that is going up every Sunday. Thursdays at Bel Air premieres on Peacock. Folks talking about that. It's been in the social conversation for a minute now. And if you haven't listened, please check out our show. It is Prince of Fresh podcast on the CBN Pod stream network stuff. What am I thinking? A shout out to him. Also to We Watch This podcast. Cole and I also co-host a podcast exclusively on BYNK Radio. It is where you can get all your podcasting streaming platforms. Go there, search for We Watch This Pod. Season 1 was the 90s season. Season 2 was the season of Black Love. And Season 3 is currently in development. So shout out to Cole. You'll be hearing more of us soon. Shout out to Robert Jeffrey, writer extraordinaire, Robert Jeffrey of BlackSci-Fi.com. Me and him just wrapped up the 4400, the CW verse, not too long ago, and I still have feelings, and we got a lot of them out. So check out the YouTube channel for our broadcast. We've discussed every single episode, and of course check out Carefree Black Nerd and the podcast streams as well. It's the episodes are up in there. Shout out to JJ. We had our academia discussion while talking about the movie Master. I cannot wait for you guys to hear that. JJ, wonderful as always. Cannot wait to collaborate with you again. Lady H and Lady D discussing the most academic, enlightening conversations surrounding black women in the different aspects of television. I mean, from the Bridgerton to the Sanditon to the Batwoman. Like, please check out that podcast. Also, shout out to my brother from another mother, my brother in podcasting, and then some, John from the John Effect podcast. He and I do a Gay Side Stories reimagine. We had a bit of a hiatus from last year. We're coming back strong, and I cannot freaking wait to, ride out the rest of the year with him like last year and the years before. Just shout out to the BYNK radio fam, man. Y'all, Real Shogun Beats, Whitney, Sid Davis, Rob, just everybody. BYNK has been so, man, y'all just don't understand. This collective is like no other, and I am so grateful to be affiliated with them. And shout out to you guys listening to me rant and rave and talk my shit and go crazy with the nerd shit. And y'all returning and rocking with me with all these different episodes and shows that I'm working on. Y'all the real ones. Y'all the real ones. So yeah, answer that question, for April. Who is the foolish of all characters and why? Shout out to everybody who's listening and supporting. All right, I'll see you on the other side in April.